everyone, it's me, Darlene. It is time for block number 18 of the quilt block party. Sandy Pro was just here. Hi, Sandy. I will have her link down below and also in the comments if you want to go check out her channel. While she was here, we brainstormed a little bit about a block that I could make, and she came up with a fantastic idea that I am going to try to create right now. It's going to be sort of like building a pyramid. Oh, by the way, if you want to get caught up with this series, I will have a playlist link down below in the description and also in the comments. We are doing foundation quilting, working on a foundation, and today we're going to be doing both strip sets and foundation piecing. Let me just sit down for a second and figure this out, and then I'll be right back. So far I know I want to start my bottom row with 4 blocks, then 3 blocks, then 2 blocks, then 1 block. What we want to do is find the center points, and the easiest way to do that is to fold it. Let me just fold this block in half, and I'm just going to take a marker. None of this is ever going to show, and I'm going to just make a mark right there on the fold and right there on the fold. Now if I open that up and leave the mark side up, that is showing me my center point. Now I want to make a center point between here, so I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm going to bring the fabric to that line on the other side, and I just put a mark on the folded edge. Now I'm going to bring this one down to the middle. If you want to just measure it and divide by 4 and then figure out where your lines are, you can do that. And I'm actually going to just draw a line, and I'm just going to eye it. We're going to be putting pyramid blocks down, and to frame the pyramid, to make the pyramid stand out, we're going to be using the same fabric on the end of each strip set, which I have decided will be this print. My foundation at the end of this will be cut down to 13 inches. I'm going to subtract an inch from each side. That's going to leave us room for our framework. For lack of a better word, I'm calling it framework. So that's going to leave me with 11 inches. 13 minus 2, an inch on each side, is 11. I'm going to say 11 divided by 4, because I want 4 blocks across, 2.75. I'm going to cut my blocks 3 inches wide. That's going to allow a little for seam allowance. So I want 4 pieces, 3 inches wide, and however tall this is. We'll worry about that after. Let's make sure we get a gingham. I'm going to press some of these. I should be able to get my block out of that guy. I can certainly get some out of this piece and out of this. Let me press all this stuff. All right, my row is about 4 inches tall, so I'm going to cut some pieces 3 inches wide by 4 inches tall. I just finished that up off camera. I have my 4 pieces. I'm going to line them up this way. They're 3 inches wide, 4 inches tall, and I'm going to sew these together to make a strip set. Here are my pieces, and I'm just going to start with the furthest to my left. Put those together. And I'm going to open those. I will press at the end. I'm going to add the next one. And I'm going to add the last one. Now I will press open. So this is what we have. Now we need to frame this with some of this. So I'm just going to go ahead and sew a piece of this here, and also on the other end. I don't care how big it is, I will just trim it after. I'm just going to continue this as the strip set. So I'm just taking this to the machine. So what I'm going to accomplish is just putting some of this to each end of my strip set. I'm just going to lay that there. And on this side too. And press. And we have this. I'm going to eyeball this first row. I like it there. I'm just going to trim a little bit here on the sides. Trim on the bottom. And the sides. And just even this up a little bit at the top. Can go just like that. we are now going to make the second row. And what I realized is I don't really have to cut these 3 by 4. I can just cut strips 3 inches wide, and I don't care how long they are. When I lay it here, I can trim it. So, next block we need just 3, because we have 4 here, and we need 3 for the next one. So I'm just going to cut a whole strip 3 inches wide. That will be for 1. Let's put a piece of this satin in there. Okay. So just to show you, I don't care how long these are. I have them 3 inches wide. I'm going to sew these together. All I care about is somewhat lining these up at the top. So let me start with these 2. And we'll add this guy. Now I'm just going to trim this bottom here. I still don't care about how long it is, as long as it's more than 4 inches. This will be going here, but we need this framework. So let's go and put a piece of this on each end. I just want to add some of this to both ends, so I'm going to start on this end here and on this end. Now I'm going to even out one end of this, and I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm kind of centering this one, pyramid style. The pyramid's not going to really show up too much, I don't think, but we're still moving forward with it. I'm going to fold down, and now I'm just going to stitch this right here on the foundation. So we're just stitching right on the foundation piece now. And this is what we have, which really looks nothing like a pyramid. But now I'm going to just level off this top row a little. And I don't have to worry about those sides yet. We're going to do the next one. We want just 2 blocks, and then we want this on each side. I'm going to go sew those 2 together. This turned out to be harder than I thought. Everything's harder than I thought. Right, I'm just doing this to make sure I have enough of the fabric for the framework around it. So I just put this in the middle. I did trim it. And I'm just going to sew this on this side and this on this side, and that gives us enough fabric. But again, we're doing this off the foundation. So we just want to add a piece of this to each side. Now I'm just going to even this off on one end. So this seam is going to the center of this block. So I'm going to put this down here like this, and I'm going to sew across right on the foundation. And I still say that this looks nothing like a pyramid. I was so hopeful. It probably would look like it more if I would have used a solid fabric as the framework, but I have a hard time with solids. I really do. I just like prints. So I'm really not happy at all with the way this is turning out, because it just doesn't look like a pyramid at all. But let's finish it, and it can just go down in history as one of my least favorites. Sorry, Sandy, I'm not the one doing it right. I know if this was framed with a solid color, that the pyramid would show more. But I'm not a solid kind of girl. I just am not. All right, what do I want the main block to be at the top? I'm just going to go with a piece of this. Going to trim it generously, and this is going to go on both ends. So I'm going to do this piece here and this piece here. I'm sewing that off the foundation. I'm going to even off one end. That's going to be going like that. Just going to trim a little bit. All right, I'm going to sew this right here on the foundation. I don't even want to look at it yet, so we're just going to square it up to 13. And now I'm going to go sew all the way around, close to the edge. Oh, I can can tell by the threads, this is the top. So let's just look at this. All right, the name of this is Hidden Pyramid. This would absolutely look like a pyramid. Let me put it this way so you can see. There's the top block, then 2, then 3, then 4. I think I'm going to challenge Sandy to making a block like this. Maybe she can use it in her catnap lap blankets. She would totally like do colors that coordinate nicely for the pyramid, like maybe some tone on tone, just different shades of burgundy or whatever. The pyramid would pop. And then I'm sure she would use something solid or maybe with a very tiny print to frame the pyramid. So there you go, Sandy Pro. If you have time and you want to take on a challenge, you do this pyramid block that you came up with. Very good idea. I just did not use the fabrics in the right way. But I'm stuck with it. So this is block number 18. It's not that it's a bad block. It's just that it looks kind of weird. Like, why would I use so much of this print here, when the pyramid doesn't really stand out? Now, if I wanted to, I could always frame the pyramid with some lace or ribbon or something, but I'm not in the mood to do that. So I'm just going to leave this as block number 18, Hidden Pyramid. It might be in first place for my least favorite block. I don't know if it knocked Button from Hell out of first place. And I wasn't even really in the mood to sew today, and I told Sandy I probably shouldn't sew when I'm not feeling it, because I don't feel creative and I don't see in a creative way when I'm not in a creative mood. So if you guys are making this, try making the pyramid match more and the frame not be busy. And I bet you will have a not hidden pyramid. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back with more soon. Bye!
The more I look at this, the more painful it gets. I didn't realize that the pink satin had puckered because I sewed it to something stretchy, so I do not like that. I hate that pink satin. It's given me trouble the whole way through this series. Don't use satin. I hope Sandy tries this block, or if any of you do, please show me. I bet you guys are going to make it look fantastic.